Welcome into the Commander's Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today I'm coming to you from my apartment here in Dallas, Texas on my off day. Merry Christmas to everybody. Late Christmas to everybody in Commanders Nation out there. But we got some big Commanders injury news here on Friday that I just had to get a video out to you guys as soon as I possibly could. So first up here, we got Jonathan Allen, who is coming back from his pectoral injury. He tore that pectoral muscle. He had surgery on it all the way back in week 6, and now he'll be back here in week 17 to take on the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday Night Football. But in some bad news, Marshon Lattimore, the cornerback, will be out this week, and he could be out multiple weeks after re-aggravating the same hamstring injury that he had previously before he started playing for the Commanders, all the way back to when he was with the Saints. Missed multiple weeks with that hamstring injury, and now he has re-aggravated that. So we're going to be talking about those injuries here and what those mean for the Commanders, not only this week, but in the weeks to come here as the Commanders look forward to potentially a playoff berth here in the 2024 NFL season. But before we get into the nitty-gritty today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We give you guys free and informative Commanders content every single day on this channel. Tomorrow we're going to be putting out a mailbag video that we recorded earlier in the week on Commanders Report live show on Tuesday. And then also on Sunday, me and Joey Peterson will be going live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for our live watch party for Sunday Night Football. Hopefully we get to watch the Commanders punch their ticket to the 2024 NFL postseason. So if you want to come, we're going to be giving away a Jaden Daniels jersey. We're going to be having a lot of fun on Sunday Night Football this week. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button to never miss any of our shows and none of our watch parties. Okay, so let's get into the injury updates here. First up, Jonathan Allen. Now, I alluded to it earlier. He had that pectoral injury, he tore his pectoral muscle back in week 6 in that game against the Ravens. They had to do surgery on that, and his recovery has just been simply remarkable, man. I think Dan Quinn last week, when Jonathan started practicing again, said it was something he has never seen before, ever. And, you know, this type of recovery you just don't see very often, so it really is a testament to Jonathan's work ethic. It's a testament to how much Jonathan wants to play for this football team. There's been certain rumors flying around, you know, over the last several years that, oh, maybe he's going to want to get traded. Maybe he doesn't want to play for the Washington Commanders because he's been really tired of the losing and all the different stuff that has happened in his tenure here in Washington since he was drafted in the first round all those years back. But now the Commanders, with Jaden Daniels, with Dan Quinn, with Cliff Kingsbury, with Terry McLaurin, with all these guys currently in the building, this is a winning football team here for the first time in Jonathan Allen's career, really. And now Allen has an opportunity to not only play, but play for a playoff team here as we head down the home stretch of the 2024 NFL season. Now, in terms of the impact that getting Allen brings to this defense here is obviously more depth on the defensive front, and that obviously helps when you're going up against teams like potentially Philly, Green Bay, a lot of these teams in the NFC that can really run the football. It's going to be really good to have a good, healthy rotation up front, especially at the defensive tackle positions, to keep those guys fresh for the postseason and through hopefully a couple of games in the postseason as well. You got Sheldon Day, who has really stepped up in Jonathan Allen's absence. I think Deron Payne has had a disappointing season overall, but he's played better and better as the season has gone on. You got Johnny Newton, the second-round rookie, who's getting more and more acclimated to NFL football as well. Now that you add Jonathan Allen, a very highly paid defensive tackle, you know, a disruptive interior pass rusher into the mix here, it's only going to make this defensive front even better moving forward, or at least you hope so, with Allen coming off that pectoral injury. You also got guys like Dorrance Armstrong, Cleveland Ferrell, Dante Fowler Jr., who's been big for this team, and of course Frankie Louvu at inside linebacker for this team, and then Bobby Wagner there at the middle linebacker spot. So, when it comes to this front, I thought they did a really good job against Saquon Barkley last week. I've never seen a defensive front do as well as they did against Barkley in the second half as this unit did last week at home. So that's super, super encouraging going up against a team like Green Bay or going up against a team like Philly that can really run the football. Also Detroit as well, even though they don't have Montgomery, is going to be something that they're going to have to do if they want to win a playoff game or two and really make a run in January. So getting Allen back is huge for that defensive front. However, it's a big loss to lose Marshon Lattimore here, and it doesn't sound like it's very promising that he's going to be playing anytime soon. He had that hamstring injury earlier this season. He missed a number of weeks. I think it was 5 weeks with that hamstring injury that he had all the way back in New Orleans. He got traded to Washington. They knew about the injury. They were okay with him sitting a couple of weeks as he healed up, and then he got back, and then in just his second game as a Commander, he re-aggravates that injury going up against A.J. Brown and the Eagles. And, because it's a re-aggravation, I do feel like it's going to be just as bad, if not even worse, than the last one. And of course, he missed a number of weeks last time. How fast is he going to be able to get back on the field? That's going to be the question. We talked about it earlier in the week. If you don't have Marshon Lattimore on the field, if you're the Washington Commanders, it's going to be tough to guard any team one-on-one. You're going to have to play a lot of zone coverage. You're going to have to play a lot of bend, don't break kind of stuff, because Benjamin St-Juste, let's face it, has not been good this year. Mike Sainristil becomes essentially your number one corner on the outside, and he's more built to be a nickel or a true number two outside cornerback. He just doesn't have the size or the speed to go up against the legit number one receivers in this league in his rookie season and lock them down the way that Marshon Lattimore can, who's more physical. He's got a better physical body type there to handle bigger receivers like A.J. Brown than Mike Sainristil does, even though Mike did a pretty decent job on Brown on their first matchup back in week 11. But not having Lattimore is absolutely huge, because you go from Marshon Lattimore as your number one to Mike Sainristil as a really good number two, to now you're relying once again on Sainristil as your number one with Benjamin St-Juste, who has really struggled this year, especially as of late. He had a couple really bad missed tackles last week against the Eagles when he was asked to play. He wasn't covering guys in man coverage at all. And you look at this secondary moving forward, you're really going to have to play bend don't break style of defense, lots of zone coverage, lots of cover 4, lots of cover 2, lots of cover 3, especially to kind of keep the offense in front of you. And then you're going to have to hope and kind of send a lot of exotic blitz looks at the quarterbacks, try to confuse them in that way, try to get pressure on them, because this secondary is not one that you can really trust moving forward, in my opinion, at least until you can get Marshon Lattimore back. So I'm really, really hoping that Marshon can get healthy quickly here. With the Commanders looking like they're probably going to make the playoffs, I'd say probably rest him for sure these last 2 games in preparation for the playoffs. But once you get to the big dance, once you get to that big stage, you really, really want to have Lattimore on the field, or else I think that's going to be pretty tough on this Commanders secondary. Because they're going to have to get predictable. They're going to have to really keep everything in front of them to even have a little bit of success. And, that's just not necessarily the way that Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn want to play defense. They want to play aggressively. They want to go man coverage. They want to play in press. They want to really get after opposing quarterbacks in that way and put a lot of pressure on them. But right now they're going to have to play a little bit laissez-faire because they just don't have the horses in the secondary to get that job done. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens this week against Michael Penix Jr. and that Falcons offense. I'm still going to pick the Commanders to win this week. It could be a little bit closer than originally I projected in my preview earlier this week. But I still think the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, with all the confidence in the world coming off that awesome game against Philly, all these different things, I still feel like the Commanders will win this weekend. Still feel good about that, but it definitely sucks to have Marshon Lattimore out this week. But it's going to be great to see 93 Jonathan Allen back in the fold here for the Washington Commanders in Week 17. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Just wanted to get a quick video out to you guys. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We will be going live on Sunday for Sunday Night Football, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, me and Joey Peterson. It's going to be a fun one, guys. Don't miss it. Click that subscribe button right now. Until next time, guys, go raise some hail.